Hey everybody, it's Megan from I Love Bodywork, doing 30 ideas in 30 days to increase your health, happiness, and wellness. And today is day 25, and it is part one of two of 10 ideas to work with, or 10 ideas and information to help with your anxiety and panic attacks. So let's get started. I'm going to do 5 things, or give you information on 5 things today. All of these things that I are giving you information about are all things that I have done, have personal experience with. So if you want some more explanation, if you would like to discuss any of these in particular, please comment on this video or tomorrow's video, or if you'd like to talk to me directly or privately, please send me a direct message or text me if you have my phone number. I would be more than happy to expand on the information in these videos to anybody that needs or wants. All right, so today's 5 is therapy, diet/water, sleep, positive communication, and meditation. Interestingly enough, a lot of the things that are on this list are things I've already done videos about in just the general idea of 30 ideas to increase your health, happiness, and wellness. So if you want just general information on some of these things, you can also go back and watch the video that I have already made. So let's get right into it. Number 1, working with anxiety and panic is to get a therapist. A lot of people say they can't get a therapist because they don't have health insurance, or their health insurance doesn't cover it, or they don't have the money to pay cash. My suggestion for you is to find a program, a counselor, or often what therapists do is they have interns. So people that are graduating or just graduated and are doing their internship, they will often provide therapy services at a discounted cash pay rate. And there are places in Las Vegas that do this. You just have to hop on the internet and do a little bit of research. Part of working with panic and anxiety is learning to care for yourself in a better and more successful way. And doing some of the legwork with some of these things is learning to take care of yourself in a better way, because you're taking time to put into yourself and into your recovery and your progress. So number 1, get a therapist. You need to have an objective advocate that is on your side, that is not already influenced by familial or friendship relationships. Your friends and your family love you. They cannot be your therapist. They should not be your therapist. Get a therapist or get a counselor. Number 2, diet. Working with anxiety and panic is not in your head. A lot of people who have not had anxiety or panic, or think they haven't had anxiety or panic, will often tell people that, you know, the stress is in your head. These feelings are in your head. Nothing wrong is happening. It's in your head. Get over it. That's one of the worst, most insensitive things you can say to somebody who's working with anxiety and panic, especially if you have never had anxiety or panic. And in fact, if you have had anxiety and panic, you would never say that to somebody. The amount of stress hormones that is being pushed and flushed and processed through your body when you're having anxiety attacks or when you're having panic attacks stays and creates a residual effect in your body. You are literally going through an extreme fight or flight response. That is a real thing. The physical or biological symptoms of anxiety and panic are real things. These are not made up things in your head. Now, some of the psychological aspects, of course, right? We all kind of get a little crazy and have things go on, and this increases our anxiety. But the reason why diet is so important is because your anxiety and your panic is tied directly to your central nervous system. Is the more sugar, the more processed foods, and the more caffeine that you're ingesting increases the likelihood of you having consistent panic, or not being able to control your panic, or feeling like you don't have control of your panic or your anxiety. To work with anxiety, you have to come from a neutral and balanced place, a place of homeostasis. And it's hard for your body to be in that state if you have too much sugar in it, if you're giving yourself too much caffeine, things like that. It's not really possible when you're overloading your system like that. It just makes it more sensitive, more irritated, more willing to be combative and sensitive. And then along with diet is, of course, increase your water intake. I like to think of my anxiety as an opportunity to grow instead of a hindrance. I don't like to think of it. This took me about 6 months to get here, I'm like, to be honest with you, but I try to really think about working with my anxiety as a path to grow and to succeed in the things that I want to succeed in, and to use these steps to get myself into a better place and better situation, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. So just to recap, number one, get a therapist. Number two, clean up your diet and increase your water intake, because you got to drink your water to flush out all of those residual hormones, to flush out the junk and this kind of like swamp-like texture the insides of our bodies get into when we don't drink enough water, to flush out that stagnancy, to make room for new and better things, right? Number three, sleep. You have to get better sleep. And something that people with anxiety tend to really, really work with or have an issue with is insomnia, not very good sleep. And when we do that, it increases our anxiety, it increases our jittery feelings, which can lead to anxiety attacks, panic attacks, and or depression. Most people with anxiety and panic also have depression. So how can you increase or work to get on a better schedule to increase your sleep, right? So here are some ideas. Number one, you have to pay attention to your screen time. Most people know this, we just don't do it. Hour to 2 hours before you're gonna go to bed, you have to cut off the TV, you have to cut off the Facebook and your phone, and you have to cut off your video games or anything like that that you're doing. You have to give your brain the least amount of stimulation to prepare for sleep as you possibly can, specifically light and visual stimulation like screen time, TVs, video games, things like that. Also, essential oils are really helpful. Lavender, vetiver, Roman chamomile. Putting a diffuser in your room or in your house, putting them on your body will help you to get better and more consistent sleep. Magnesium is super good. It helps you to get better sleep. And it's also part of like the diet and nutrition aspect, is it's keeping your electrolyte levels high, which is something that's really helpful and needed when you're working with anxiety. Next one is teas. Make friends with herbal teas. Chamomile tea, sleepy time tea, bedtime tea, anything with vetiver in it. All of those teas are going to be really helpful. And in fact, if you have day-to-day anxiety during the day that you feel, drinking those teas throughout the day can help lower your anxiety and anxious feelings. 4, positive communication. One of the last videos that's going to be posted is with me and Abigail McBride talking about positive communication, and I highly recommend you watch that video. In relation to anxiety and panic, positive communication with yourself, the way you speak to others, the way you speak to yourself, the way you speak about yourself, and the way you talk to yourself in your head, in your mind voice, is really, really important. Because you have to be your own cheerleader. You have to be your own advocate and your own cheerleader when you're working with your anxiety and panic. And talking about things in a heightened, exaggerated, dramatic fashion only heightens your anxiety and increases the likelihood that you might have a panic attack or get panicky about something. Talking about things in a positive way is really important. So an example of that was like what I said about when I think about, or when I'm talking about my anxiety, is I always try to think about it in a positive way. And when I do this, I don't get mired down and stuck in the negative aspects of it, which leads to depression, which leads to anxiety, which leads to a panic attack, which leads to depression, which leads to anxiety, and you get into this cyclical loop. So mantras are really helpful for positive communication and to start rewiring the way that we talk to ourselves. Because can you imagine if some of the things you said to yourself, if you said those to other people, how you would feel, right? So why is it okay to like say these things to ourselves when we know it's unkind and not fair to say them to other people? You need to give yourself that same amount of respect. So mantras are helpful. My basic mantra that I use is like, you got this. I got this, you got this. If I'm starting to feel anxiety, my biological symptoms, the physical things that are representative of my anxiety start to pop up, I got this, I got this, I fucking got this, I got this, I got this, you got this, and it helps. Another one is the, which I got from the Dare book, that will be in tomorrow's video, is you literally every day, some of you are going to laugh about this, you go into the mirror, you look at yourself in the mirror, and you say, I love myself. I love myself. You repeat it. Here's the thing that's really interesting about this one, and this is why I do it. If you do that for like 30 seconds, you feel this immediate wash of beautiful, joyous energy wash over your body. I guarantee you, you will do it. Now, you might need to do it for more than 30 seconds, but if you do it and you stick with it, I guarantee you, you have this moment where you start laughing, and it's not critique laughing, it's laughing because you believe that you love yourself, and when you love yourself, you feel good. When you allow yourself and you give yourself permission to love yourself, you feel good, and it helps your anxiety, and it helps to increase your health, happiness, and wellness. Number 5 is meditation. So meditation is good for all things. Some people who have anxiety when they wake up in the morning, just because you go from this restful state to stimulation and sensory things, they have panic and anxiety as soon as they wake up. It's a really good time to do your meditation. In the afternoon, you're starting to get tired. Maybe your blood sugar is low. For me, I can't let my blood sugar get low, because if my blood sugar gets low, I start to get anxiety. So I will do meditation. Of course, I have a snack. That's what helps the blood sugar. But when that anxiety happens midday, 5-minute meditation. If your thing is that you have a really hard time getting to sleep, then after you put on your essential oils and you get yourself a cup of chamomile tea and you shut off your video games and you shut your phone off and you shut your TV off and you grab a book or a journal, or maybe doing some light abdominal work, if it's not too stimulating for you, then you also do a 5, 10, 15-minute meditation before you go to bed to help decrease any of the continuing energies or stress or anything from that time of the day before you go to sleep. You give your head that space to get ready for rest, and you make it a structured religious thing that you do, because just like with meditation, it's a practice. Just like with your diet and your water, it's a practice. Talking to yourself positively is a practice. Working with your sleep, increasing your sleep, the quality of your sleep is a practice. And working with a therapist is definitely a practice. It's definitely a practice for me. So those are your 5 things. If you have any comments or questions about therapy for anxiety, changing your diet, increasing your water for anxiety and panic, working with getting better sleep, healthier sleep, better quality sleep, and then working with positive communication specifically with yourself, and then meditation, check out the videos that have already been posted, comment on this video, direct message me if you have any questions. I am more than happy to help anybody that wants it. You just have to ask. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you tomorrow with part 2 of 10 ideas of working with your anxiety and panic attack inside 30 ideas in 30 days to increase your health, happiness, and wellness.